How's it going, David in Comic Book Investments? So in this video, we're going to look at 5 keys that are dropping in price, and quite a bit, 91%. And how do I find these keys? Well, sometimes I find them on my own. Sometimes out in the wild, just walking down to, get my latest badge, my gym, and, out of the brush, something pops up and I have to, and there it is. Or it's from you guys out there. You guys comment below and let me know what you want me to look up. So that's how some of these make it on this list. So comment below, let me know what you want me to look up. All right, first we got Eternals #1. A 9.4 is down 90% from 809 to 84. A 9.6 down 91% from 1653 to 153. And a 9.8 down 87% from peaking at 3,800, now selling for just $483. Man, that is quite the haircut. Yeah, so I've mentioned this before, supply and demand. Eternals, like if you're looking at that graph, Eternals 1 was always around $150 to $250. And then I got a boost because, of course, there was a movie coming out. We all know how that ended. And so it got hyped up. And for a while there was hanging around the $700 range. And then obviously the comic boom with the boost shot it up to $3,800. I don't know. And here's the thing is, this book is not rare and high grade at all. It is not. This book was, they made a lot of them, but no one read them. So if you didn't read it back in, was it 78 or something like that? If you didn't read it, it pretty much stayed in like perfect shape. There's a lot of grades, 9.0 plus. So, and then obviously the Eternals movie, nothing happened with it. There's no sequel. None of them are going anywhere. Any like side characters, nothing. So it dropped down. It's trending at 483. It looks like the drop has slowed, but still continuing. I would imagine this is probably going to go back to where it was pre-hype, pre-comic boom, all the way back to where it was around like 2016 and 17 numbers, where it was around $250. So I imagine this book will still drop to around 250, maybe settling around 300, a little higher, but it's not going to be come back to 3,800. Never happen. It will never happen. The only way it could possibly happen is if Marvel decides to make another Eternals movie. It becomes a massive hit. They have a TV show, then they have like a cartoon, and then they would have to become like as popular as like Spider-Man. That's not happening. So if you paid 3,800, if you paid $2,000, I don't think you'll ever see $2,000 again. Maybe in 50 years, just by inflation. All right, Vengeance #1. A 9.4 is down 84% from 570 to 93. A 9.6 down 75% from 711 to 181. And a 9.8 is down 88% from 2,000 to 235. This is the first appearance of Miss, I know she's Miss America, but oh, I forget her name. She was in Doctor Strange too. She's so unimportant. Why am I blanking on her name? She made the little Star Power dimension thing. I know she was called like Miss America, America Chavez. I think she was like called Miss America in a couple issues or something. Anyways, America Chavez. I knew it would come to me. Anyways, I mean, this is a cool cover. I like the cover. I like the art style. Very cool. I believe it's Gabriel Del Otto, if I'm not mistaken. I could be completely wrong on that, but that's what I'm going to go with. Yes. And anyways, this book got hyped out because she was going to be in Doctor Strange 2. Obviously, she was the most standout, best character out of every MCU movie ever. She pretty much did nothing. She was just there to scream and for someone to save. Worthless character in the movie. The movie as a whole wasn't the best. I like Doctor Strange #1 much, much better. They should have stayed in the different dimensions way, way longer. Or multiverses, much longer to give it like a different feel, because they just went through it in like 10 seconds, and you're like, oh, it should have stayed, they should have jumped around from world to world, and they should have looked vastly different, like in Edge of Spider-Verse 2, where they jumped around and each world was different and they stayed in each world. That's what it should have been. That's what Doctor Strange 2 should have been, but it did not. Then in any case, this book is dropped down to $235. It's almost, it's pretty much, so it had like a little bump up there because some hype, and then obviously the comic boom just shot up way higher than it needs to be. It's almost back to where it was pre all that. So you're looking at 2018 and 19 numbers. You're looking around that price, 150 to 250. That's where I think it's going to end up. I think it's going to continue to drop a slightly more, and just because this still is the first appearance of a character that still exists, did have a movie appearance, probably appear in a video game or a TV show in the future, like a cartoon or something like that. So there's still some notoriety. So I'd imagine this is going to $150 to $200 book. That's where it's probably going to hover around. Will it go up from there? And long term, sure, from 150 to 200, it'll probably go up from that point, but it's going to be there for a long time. Is it going to go to 2000? No, it is never going to go there again, like the Eternals. This is not going to happen. We won't even come close to that ever. It'd have to have so many things go right with it, it'd be impossible. All right, next we got Captain America number 6, first appearance of Winter Soldier. A 9.4 is down 81% from 288 to 55. A 9.6 down 80% from 475 to 95. And a 9.8 down 79% from 850 to 175. 175. So this is first appearance of Winter Soldier. I actually loved the movie Winter Soldier, Captain America 2, I think it was. It was one of my favorite MCU movies, up there. At the time, I think it was one of my favorites, but now there's been so many, I can't really remember. But anyways, I like that movie. I've seen it multiple times, which for me is rare. I never really watch a movie more than once. It would have to be either it's super old and I forgot most of it, or it's like a timeless classic for at least me, and it'll come on every once in a while. So for me to watch something this new, Captain America 2, twice, I think I've seen it twice all the way through, and I think I've seen bits and parts of like a third time. Yeah, that's rare. So I really like this movie. Yeah, it's just really hard for these modern books to hold that level. It's because there's just so many of them. And I know, they made hundreds of thousands back in the day. Yeah, but they all got ruined. They all got damaged, and they all got ruined, and there's not that many that exist. You pick up a random Spider-Man Silver Age issue, I don't know, 47, right? You pick up that issue, it's like how many, like this issue probably had like, I don't know, I'm literally going to guess, but anywhere maybe like a 50,000 print run to 80,000 print run, somewhere in there. And they all exist still, like for the most part. Like a few might have been lost. But like you go to old Spider-Man, it's like probably had a circulation of like, I don't know, Silver Age Spider-Man back then, like 500,000, probably somewhere around there. And what exists is far less than that. It's what exists is less than this Captain America. Maybe, I don't know. I don't even want to put a number on it, because like if you probably looked at the census, you're probably only going to find like 5 to 10,000, but obviously there's a lot more that are ungraded that exist. But like something like this, modern comics, they all exist. They pretty much all exist. Like 98 to 99% of them still exist, still out there, all in super nice shape, all in super high grade. And so it's just, there's just supply and demand. There's not enough demand for the amount of supply there is for modern books. So to get up to 850 to begin with, that was a lot of hype, but it instantly started dropping down again. This is at 175. It was trending about 150 before all this nonsense. So that's where I think it will end. And even if you look at the graph recently, it's been slowly declining over the last 6 months, probably like a 10%, 15% decline, so not too much. So this slowly eking its way down. It'll probably end up 150-ish. That's kind of what you could probably expect. 850 it's not as high as the other books, 2,000 to come back to. Well, no, it's not going to. Could I see this character going up, higher? It's not in the first appearance of Bucky Barnes, which is actually Captain America Ops #1. So it's just Winter Soldier. Yeah, it can come up a little bit, but don't expect this thing to go to the moon or anything else, but expect it hover around 150. All right. Usaji Yojimbo, a 9.4, down 68% from 546 to 175, a 9.6 down 77% from 900 to 206, a 9.8 down 86% from 2800 to 400. This is kind of a obscure character. I mean, I've mentioned on the channel, I'm sure you've come across him here and there, but he's kind of obscure. The only reason this got hyped up out of nowhere is because there was supposed to be this Netflix show that turned into a cartoon that turned into not even a cartoon about him, about his long lost great grandson or something. And it bombed. Like, it bombed so hard, I can't even tell you one person that watched it. I haven't even seen anything from it. It's been out for years. Not a single thing. No one talked about it. Nothing. It is like, just like, if you told me it never got released, I'd believe you, because I never heard a single thing about this show. It was a cartoon. I think it was aimed at kids anyways. But anyways, watch it. It's on season 10 already. That'd be funny. But nonetheless, that's why I got it jumped up. The book that's still worth something is Albedo #2, which is his first appearance. That is always going to be worth quite a bit, just because it has a lot of things going for it. It has, like, anyone that's collecting indie comics, boom. That's, like, I think one of the top books, top 3, I think. You know, you obviously got Turtles, and then you got probably like The Crow is in there, and then Albedo 2 is above that. Yeah, but it's got that going for it. It had a low print run, all sorts of stuff. So that's always going to be worth quite a bit of money. But for this one, they actually had a higher than I thought originally print run. There's quite a few of them, and there's just not enough demand to meet the supply that's out there. And there's a lot in decent high grade. 2800, will it ever hit that again? No, it won't. It won't hit that. Where do I think it's going to settle around? Probably around here. I've seen for the last 6 months it's been staying around this price, going up a little bit, going down a little bit, but hovering around this price. I think it was around the 350 mark before all the craziness. So, and it probably might dip down back down to 350 for a 9.8, but probably not. Probably stay around the 375 to 425 mark, and this kind of coast there for a while. Over time, it'll go up a little bit. Won't hit that 2800 though. All right, last is Aquaman #35, first appearance of Black Manta. A 4.0 is down 40%, 325 to 195. That last one was sold in 2022, was when it broke that record. A 6.5, its record was in 2018, 725, now down 63% for 265. And a 9.0 last sold for a record price in 1900 back in 2018, now once recently sold for 1400. That's only down 26%. Now, why is the records in 2018? That's when the Aquaman movie came out. So that's when it peaked. And then obviously maybe a little bump from the comic boom. Some books didn't get any bump from the comic boom. But, I mean, where is it at now? It's about trending around the same. I mean, it's down 26% from its peak back in 2018. Now, obviously, that was its peak. But, yeah, I mean, this book doesn't sell like a whole lot. But you can see, like, these books aren't dropping by 80 or 90% like those other books. You know, overall, this book is down. So, like, most of its peaking was probably, 2018. Like this one, the 4.0 was in 2022. But over time, Black Manta is still a decent side character that I wouldn't worry about this book. If you bought it in 2018 for $1,900, I mean, you really bought it at its peak. But I think down the line, you'll eventually get your money back. Any of these prices, if you bought them at their peaks, I think eventually it will be worth more in the next 10 years for sure. So I wouldn't really worry about that as much. That is it. Have a great day.